this section, we are going to go over the design of the app that we are going to be building in this course. The app we are going to build is the Recipe API. So the Recipe API can be the backend component and database of a recipe app. Once we build the API, you might want to use it for creating a mobile app such as an Android or an iOS app, or maybe a web app. So that's just an app that runs in the browser and uses our API to do certain functionality. We are not going to be actually building the front end in this course. We are just going to be focusing on the backend and the database of the app. So by the end of the course, you should have a fully functioning REST API that performs the features needed for a recipe app. We are going to add the following features to our API. We are going to have 20 different endpoints, and those endpoints are going to allow us to do things such as manage users, manage recipes in the app, create tags, and create ingredients. The API is also going to handle user authentication, so users will be able to register via the API, and then we can handle authentication in the API, so we can identify which user is making changes to which components in the database. We also are going to have a browsable admin interface using the Django Admin. So this is going to be really useful as we are developing our app, because it will allow us to see the different database components that are being created as we test our API. We'll be adding a browser API to our API. This is a browsable web page that allows us to view all of the different endpoints in our API and allows us to make test requests to these endpoints. This is really useful for testing the API and also useful when you have other developers working on the project that might be using the API, because they can get all of the documentation for the API in one place and is generated automatically using something called Swagger UI. This is a view of the Swagger UI page that we are going to be creating, and it contains all of the endpoints. Here are the endpoints related to the recipe API, and here are the endpoints related to the user API. This allows us to create a user and also create an authentication token so the user can log in. So that's an overview of the app we are going to be building.